the St. Anselm College in Manchester, New Hampshire, and the first Republican presidential debate in this first-in-the-nation primary state. Behind me on this stage, the Republican candidates for president, appearing together on the same stage for the first time tonight. And tonight's debate will be different than any presidential debate you've ever seen. Over the course of the next 2 hours, in addition to questions from myself and journalists from our partners, WMUR and the New Hampshire Union Leader, the candidates will take questions directly from voters right here in Manchester, as well as from voters at town meetings taking place tonight all across New Hampshire. So let's get right to it and meet the candidates. Now, we've asked for no opening statements. However, we will continue a tradition from our past New Hampshire debates to ask each candidate in one short sentence, hopefully 5, maybe 6 or 7 seconds, to introduce themselves to the voters of New Hampshire and the United States of America. Let me begin with an example. I'm John King with CNN. I am honored to be your moderator tonight, and I am thrilled to be back in Red Sox Nation. Now let's start at the end of the stage with Senator Rick Santorum.
Hello, New Hampshire. I'm Rick Santorum. I served 12 years representing Pennsylvania in the United States Senate, but I also have substantial executive experience making the tough decisions of balancing budget and cutting spending. Karen and I are the parents of 7 children.
Hi, my name is Michele Bachmann. I'm a former federal tax litigation attorney. I'm a businesswoman. We started our own successful company. I'm also a member of the United States Congress. I'm a wife of 33 years. I've had 5 children, and we are the proud foster parents of 23 great children, and it's a thrill to be here tonight in the live free or die state. Thank you.
I'm Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House. And when 14 million Americans are out of work, we need a new president to end the Obama depression.
Governor?
I'm Mitt Romney, and it's an honor to be back at St. Anselm. Hopefully I'll get it right this year. And appreciate the chance to be with you and to welcome my wife. And I have 5 sons, as you know, 5 daughters-in-law, 16 grandkids. The most important thing in my life is to make sure their future is bright and that America is always known as the hope of the earth. Thank you.
I am Congressman Ron Paul. I've been elected to the Congress 12 times from Texas. Before I went into the Congress, I delivered babies for a living and delivered 4,000 babies. Now I would like to be known and defend the title that I am the champion of liberty and I defend the Constitution. Thank you.
Governor?
Good evening. I'm Tim Pawlenty. I'm a husband. My wife Mary and I have been married for 23 years. I'm the father of 2 beautiful daughters, Anna and Mara. I'm a neighbor, and I'm running for President of the United States because I love America. But like you, I'm concerned about its future. I've got the experience and the leadership and the results to lead it to a better place.
Mr. Cain.
Hello, I'm Herman Cain. I am not a politician. I am a problem solver with over 40 years of business and executive experience, father of 2, grandfather of 3, and I'm here tonight because it's not about us, it's about those grandkids. Happy to be here in New Hampshire.
Our thanks to the candidates. You'll get to know them better as the night goes on. Our rules are pretty straightforward. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to answer our lead-off questions. At my discretion, I may ask other candidates to weigh in on each topic. Now, candidates would get about 30 seconds to answer those follow-up questions. I say about 30 seconds because we're on the honor system tonight. No bells, no whistles. You won't see any flashing lights up here. If they're running over time, I'll try to gently remind them it's time to move on. And we're hoping some of the answers will be as short, maybe a sentence, maybe even just 1 word. We can't hope, right? We've also asked the candidates to answer the questions that they're asked rather than the question they might have wished to be asked. That's enough. That's enough for me tonight. Let's get straight to the people of New Hampshire now. Our first question comes from a voter up in Plymouth. Also there is the New Hampshire Union Leader's Tom Fahey. Tom?
Thank you, John. I'm here with Mr. Marquez Serling. He is a retired professor from Plymouth State University, and he's got a question about jobs.
Yes, Mr. Gingrich said there are 14 million people unemployed. My question is this. The Democrats say that the Republicans don't have any plans to create jobs in the private sector, not in government jobs. I'd like to know, what are those plans?
Mr. Cain, let me start with you tonight. And be as specific as you can. I hope I don't have to repeat this throughout the night. What would you do as President of the United States to create jobs?
The thing we need to do is to get this economy boosted. This economy is stalled. It's like a train on the tracks with no engine. And the administration has simply been putting all of this money in the caboose. We need an engine called the private sector. That means lower taxes, lower the capital gains tax rate to 0, suspend taxes on repatriated profits, then make them permanent. Uncertainty is killing this economy. This is the only way we're going to get this economy moving, and that's to put the right fuel in the engine, which is the private sector.
All right, let me come down to this then. Senator Santorum, you said you have executive experience as well as your Senate experience. Governor Pawlenty laid out an economic plan, a lot of tax cuts in that plan. Some economists said he had some unrealistic expectations, that he said you could grow the economy 5% a year, then 5% a year, then 5% a year. Do you believe that is possible, or is that too optimistic to be to the American people who want help but don't want to be misled?
Yeah, I think we need a president who's optimistic, who has a pro-growth agenda. I'm not going to comment on 5% or 4%. What we need is an economy that's unshackled. And what's happened in this administration is that they have passed oppressive policy and oppressive regulation after Obamacare being first and foremost. The oppressiveness of that bill on businesses, anybody that wants to invest to get any kind of return, when you see the regulations that are going to be put on business, when you see the taxation, throw on top of that what this president has done on energy. The reason we're seeing this second dip is because of energy prices, and this president has put a stop sign against oil drilling, against any kind of exploration offshore or in Alaska, and that is depressing. We need to drill, we need to create energy jobs, just like we're doing, by the way, in Pennsylvania, where we're drilling 3,000 wells this year for gas, and gas prices are down, natural gas prices are down as a result.
I'll try to ask all of you to keep the follow-ups to 30 seconds as we can so we can get more in. Governor Pawlenty, answer the critics, and as you do so, who say 5% every year is just unrealistic. And as you do so, where's the proof? Where's the proof that just cutting taxes will create jobs? If that were true, why, during the Bush years, after the big tax cut, where were the jobs?
Well, John, my plan involves a whole plan, not just cutting taxes. We're proposing to cut taxes, reduce regulation, speed up this pace of government, and to make sure that we have a pro-growth agenda. This president is a declinist. He views America as one of equals around the world. We're not the same as Portugal. We're not the same as Argentina. And this idea that we can't have 5% growth in America is hogwash. It's a defeatist attitude. If China can have 5% growth and Brazil can have 5% growth, then the United States of America can have 5% growth. And I don't accept this notion that we're going to be average or anemic. So my proposal has a 5% growth target. It cuts taxes, but it also dramatically cuts spending. We need to fix regulation. We need to have a pro-American energy policy. We need to fix health care policy. And if you do those things as I've proposed, including cut spending, you'll get this economy moving, growing the private economy by shrinking government.
I don't want to do much of this, but I'm going to have to interrupt if people go a little bit long so we get more done. Governor Romney, I want you to come in on that point. Is 5% overly optimistic? And is it fair to compare the United States economy, a fully developed economy, to the Chinese economy, which is still, in many ways, developing?
Look, Tim has the right instincts, which is he recognizes that what this president has done has slowed the economy. He didn't create the recession, but he made it worse and longer. And now we have more chronic long-term employment than this country has ever seen before. 20 million people out of work, stopped looking for work, or in part-time jobs that need full-time jobs. We've got housing prices continuing to decline, and we have foreclosures at record levels. This president has failed. And he's failed at a time when the American people counted on him to create jobs and get the economy going. And instead of doing that, he delegated the stimulus to Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid, and then he did what he wanted to do. Card check, cap and trade, Obamacare, re-regulation. I spent my life in the private sector, 25 years. And as I went around the world, this is an important topic. I went around the world.
We'll have a lot of time on the topic.
You can tell how to get jobs going in this country, and President Obama's done it wrong. And the ideas Tim described, those are in the right wheelhouse.
Mr. Speaker, if you look at a poll in the Boston Globe just the other day, 54% of Republican voters in this state say they're willing to have higher taxes on the wealthy to help bring down the deficit. Are they wrong?